everyone, and welcome to Educational Webinar Jam. Today's webinar is all about Everything Google with Pear Deck. This is our second session in the Everything Google series. Today we will get empowered by Google tools that will help you change your static lessons into interactive mode. This session will be delivered by Hind Al-Haj. He holds Masters in English Literature in Ethnic American Political Poetry and a lecturer at Prince Sultan University. She believes in teaching with fun. So over to Ms. Haj. Please, you can start your presentation now. Welcome, Ms. Hind.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another session of Educational Webinar Jam. As Ms. Maria said, today, inshallah, I will be presenting to you an online platform, a very useful online platform called Pear Deck. And Pear Deck is used to turn your regular, everyday PowerPoints into interactive PowerPoints and interactive lessons. And it is used to turn students' roles in the class from passive learners to more engaged and interactive learners, inshallah. So welcome again. And to begin with, we are going to start with a little interactive game to help us, see why we are all here today. We are all here today because we want our classes to be so many things. And three of these so many things can be, and we're going to play a hangman. So who would like to share, who would like to volunteer a letter? Can you just please open your mic and volunteer a letter? And see if you can get the word before you get hanged. Letters, anyone? Miss Sheena, please.
Hi, I typed E into the chat.
Oh, I can't see the chat. Okay, sorry.
No problem.
E, yes! And I saw an H.
G.
Okay, now I can actually see you.
G.
G. Whoa! Who wants to guess the word?
Engaged. E-A-G.
Yes.
I think
Thank
it's
you, Miss Fuzia. Engaging. So we all want our letters to be engaging. Thank you. Okay, next one. We all want our lessons to be what? More letters. Let's see if you can get this one. It's a bit longer. Let's see if you can get this one before you get hanged.
I.
T. Okay, there's a T. Ooh. There's an I. Ooh.
Yeah, N.
Yep.
T-R-A-C-T-I-V.
Wait, say that again.
Interactive.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Last one. This is a phrase made of two words. We all want our lessons to be M. Somebody's volunteered an M. Ms. Dimar has volunteered an M. There's the M.
A.
No A. O. Yes, there are several O's. Good one. L. No L. There are only so many words that have four O's. T. Yeah.
L? Not, okay, so
We've tried
N,
and
okay, not
you got
monotonous.
it. Not monotonous. And this is, so if we were to ask the question, why Pear Deck? This is why we need Pear Deck. Pear Deck is an educational technology company that offers a web-based application for K-12 schools and teachers, but it can also be very effectively used for higher education at university level, especially for EFL, for TT, or any subject really. Okay, it was founded in 2014 in Iowa. This presentation, inshallah, is going to be divided into 4 parts. I will first introduce Pear Deck to you. About why Pear Deck? Why do we need Pear Deck? Why can you use Pear Deck? And then I will show you how to create a lesson, how to use different Pear Deck functions to create a lesson. The part 3 is I will show you how to teach with Pear Deck by you being the student. So you are going to see how I can teach with Pear Deck, and you're going to participate as students so that you can experience Pear Deck as a student. And then in the end, we will have a question and answer session, inshallah. If you have any questions along the way, please feel free to type them in the chat box. Inshallah, we'll address them in the end. So why Pear Deck? In addition to being a tool that helps you have engaging, interactive, and classes and the ones that are not monotonous, Pear Deck is very easy to use, very easy. It's very convenient because it is synced with your G Drive. Whether you decide to create a Pear Deck account with your work email, provided that it's synced to Gmail, or with the personal email, you can sync Pear Deck to your G Drive. Everything and PowerPoint in your G Drive, in your Google Slides, can be imported into Pear Deck, and you can turn it into an interactive PowerPoint there, or any PowerPoint you create on the Pear Deck website will immediately be saved in your G Drive. So they are linked. Pear Deck has interactive PowerPoint add-ons that can change your PowerPoints from being a unidirectional educational tool to becoming an interactive educational tool. And Pear Deck has a variety of functions that you can use. And finally, in class, when you are administering Pear Deck, there is anonymity of answers. You as a teacher later will be able to see which student answered what. But as you administer the class, the answers are anonymous, and this will support students as confident, and they will not be too shy to answer, etc. So let's start creating. What we're going to do now, inshallah, is I am going to start creating a Pear Deck lesson, and to show you how to create the lesson, the different ways you can create the lesson. Now, a disclaimer here, I am not going to show you how to create a perfect lesson or a structured lesson, or this is not a lesson planning session, but I am going to kind of create a lesson using Pear Deck, but my objective is to show you how to use the different functions of Pear Deck, not to actually create a good lesson. So you go to the Pear Deck website, and Ms. Maria has shared the link for the Pear Deck website in the chat box, and this is where it will take you. Then you go teacher login, and you log in as a teacher. The first time you do this, and I do not recommend you do your first lesson. I don't recommend you do your first lesson when you're in a hurry. We do your first lesson when you actually have time, because you will be asked for permission with every single step, because it's a very big responsibility when you come and you give an outside educational platform like Pear Deck access to your G Drive. That's a responsibility. It's safe, but it's still a responsibility. They will keep asking you. The first time you create a lesson, they will keep asking you for permissions. So the first time you go to Pear Deck and you log in as a teacher, you won't immediately be taken to your homepage. So you will get the Gmail, the Gmail site where you have to sign in, and you'd sign in with your account, and then you will get a list of allow, give permission, you give Pear Deck permission to do this, you give Pear Deck permission to do that. You will need to give several permissions. So if your work email is on Gmail and you don't feel comfortable giving Pear Deck permission to access your work email, then you might want to create a Gmail, either give it access to your personal Gmail or create a Gmail specifically for Pear Deck. I take this Gmail, for example, for my class activities at gmail.com. So this is a personal and it's not work. It's very safe to give Pear Deck. It's safe to give Pear Deck access to any of your Google Slides, to any of your G drives. But still, if you're not comfortable with that, you can always create a special Gmail for it. So you will be taking to your homepage. This is your homepage. When you actually have slides in your drive, you can come here and you can open slides from your drive and you can import them into Pear Deck, and you can add interactive functions to them and change them from being passive to interactive. I'm talking about old slides now. But if you want to create a new lesson using Pear Deck, then you go here, create a lesson. And you need to be patient with it. It does take some time to load sometimes. Many times, in fact, it takes time to load. So it's not like snap, snap, snap. It takes time. See, it took some time. So this is a demo lesson. And I'm going to add a new slide. And I'm going to remove this first slide. And I'm going to start with my lesson. So today you can right click and choose a theme, one of the Google Slides themes for your PowerPoint, or you can simply choose change background and choose a color. Or you can, this is a great website, you can go to SlideGo. I'm sorry if you're already familiar with this website. If you're not familiar with this website, this is a great website, SlideGo, and you can download for free, download immediately into your Google Drive any slide design you want. Nevertheless, I don't recommend that you use some of these very dynamic slide backgrounds for Pear Deck, because Pear Deck in itself is dynamic. So I'm going to stick to my nice orange background and add a title. So let's say this lesson is about endangered species. And this is the lesson that I'm creating today, a lesson about endangered species. And I want to start by asking my students how much they know about endangered species. So I'm going to post the question here. How much do you know about endangered species? And I want my students to reply. I want my students to reply in writing, not just on the Google Meet say something. I want all of the students to reply to this question in writing. Whenever you want to prompt student interaction, you need to add a Pear Deck add-on. So you go to add-ons, you go Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, open Pear Deck add-on, and you get the add-on menu bar over here. It's loading. Okay. You have 6 different add-ons that you can use with your slides. And my objective today is to introduce you to the uses, possible uses of these 6 add-ons. Now, in this case, I want my students to tell me how much they know about endangered species. So I want them to type. So I will go to text. I click on text. And I choose update slide. This one's very easy. And my slide has been updated. when I present this lesson to students after it's done, students will be prompted to write their response. They will be given a text box in which they can type their response. And students can type what they want, and then I can display all of students' responses. I'll show you that later, inshallah. Now, maybe, wait, what did I cancel? Maybe I don't want, oh, I forgot to do something. I forgot to apply the background to all. Change background, theme. Okay. Maybe I don't want students to type from the beginning. I want to do something more fun, more engaging. I want maybe to build, it really depends on students' levels. I want to build on students' personal likes and dislikes or their personal experiences. I can ask students to draw their favorite animal. Okay, so, well, not there, obviously. I can ask students to draw their favorite animal. Draw your favorite animal. In this case, I will need to add to my slide a drawing function. Okay, so draw. I click on draw. I update slide. And students will be able to draw anywhere on this slide once we start presenting the slide as a lesson. They will be given colors, they will be given drawing tools, and they can use them to draw anything they want. Another possible way I can start my lesson is by choosing from the template library a ready-made template. There are templates for beginning of lessons, there are templates for during the lesson, and there are templates for the end of lesson. So I can go here, beginning of lesson, and I can ask students, for example, if students had a homework, what did they learn from their homework, or to draw two things they already know about today's topic, to think of the question. There are many templates here that we can, not many, but there are several templates here that you can, ready-made templates that you can just add to your slides. Okay, so I think I'm going to start by asking students to draw their favorite animal as a warm-up. So I'm going to move this here. Then I'm going to introduce the concept of endangered species, ask students how much they know about endangered species, and ask them to draw, for example. Okay, now I have a reading lesson for today. Let's assume I have a reading lesson for today. And I want, before I dive into the reading lesson, I want students to preview the lesson about endangered animals. I want, go back. So what I want to do is I want to give students the opportunity. I want to give students the opportunity to take a virtual tour, to look at videos, to look at pictures that introduce students to endangered species. I'm going to start to go to create a new slide. And I have this, oh, there you go. I have this website, which is a virtual field trip to a photography exhibition on endangered species. And it has a very nice map, and students can click on different locations and they can take a look at different pictures. See? It's lovely. Okay, and the different places and different names and different conservation statuses of different animals all over the world. I want to give my students 10 minutes to go to this website and to explore endangered species all over the world. What I can do is I can add this website as the link to my lesson over here by choosing the website add-on. I click on the website add-on. pop-up comes up and it asks me to give a website, and so I do. And I update slide. But wait, something happened. There was something wrong. Okay, it refused to connect. Let me try again. I'm just waiting for it to load. Okay, I'm gonna update it now and let it load on its own, at its own pace. And we'll check later if it's working. But for now, the important thing is you get the idea that you can add any website to your Pear Deck lesson, and students will not have to go to the website. The website will be imported into the lesson as they take the lesson on their iPads or on their phones or on their laptops. Okay, new slide. Okay, let's say now, I want to preview the reading that students are going to do. Students are going to read an article about endangered species. And this is the article. But before I send students to their books to read the article, I want to preview the article with them. And I want to do that by asking students, by running a scavenger hunt game for students. So I'm going to come here and I am going to copy the first paragraph from the article, or maybe let me copy the first two paragraphs. This snipping tool, by the way, is already on all of your laptops. This is a program that comes with Windows. You can find it. You go Windows, type snipping tool, and you'll find it. And you can crop, you can select and cut and copy anything you want. That's already on your computer. So I copied the article and I brought it here. And what I want to do is I want to play a scavenger hunt game with students where I want to tell them, I want them to preview the article by me giving them verbally giving them hints or clues, and they are going to go in and they are going to search for clues. Okay, and they're going to drag and drop an icon and search for the clues. So for example, I have here the word causes. The word reasons. There are many reasons why species become endangered. Okay, so I'm going to ask students, when we preview this article, I'm going to ask students to find a word that means causes and drag and drop an icon to that word. So I go to Draggable. Next, and I am given here different icons and different colors, and I can choose. So you've got math symbols, you've got numbers, and I'm going to use numbers in a while. You've got pictures, you've got whatever you want. So I am going to choose the magnifying glass, and I'm going to ask students to look for a word that means causes and drag the magnifying glass and drop it at that word. Okay, I'm going to add another symbol now because I want students to find another word. I am going to choose the house symbol because I want to ask students to find a word that means the natural homes of animals. And that would be habitat over here. Okay, and drag and drop it to it. Okay, I'm gonna add another one, and I am going to choose the boat. And I am going to make it blue. And I'm gonna make house green because a habitat is green. Well, that's an understatement, but usually natural habitats are associated with greenery. So we've got, I'm going to ask students, I have a boat here, and I'm going to ask students to look for an example of a water body, let's say, and drag that icon and drop it there. And you can still add, you can add 5 draggable items per slide. So let's add the compass, and I'll keep that as a surprise for later for when we do the lesson. And I'll add the light bulb. And again, stereotypical yellow for the light bulb and update slide. There are so many ways you can use this function. So many ways. And I'll show you now some other ways to use this function. But there are so many ways that you can use this function for classes. And it's so much fun. Students love to drag and drop. For example, one way you can use it. So this is a picture here. This is a text here, but really it's a picture. Let's go back to the website slide. You see this website slide? Did we ask students to go on this virtual field trip and to find different animals who are endangered and who are native to different places? So that's what we did. So, for example, what we can do is after students go on this virtual field trip, I can go to Google, I can find a picture of a world map, a nice plain world map. Okay, oh, I'm not gonna be picky now because, okay, I'm gonna copy this image. I'm gonna come back to my slides. I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, I'm gonna add a draggable item. Not a very good idea, by the way. My picture isn't a very good idea because my draggable items are colorful and the map is colorful. So I am going to look for a plain world map, one that's not colorful. Okay, and if you don't want to overwhelm students with the different countries, then we can choose this one that just focuses on continents, because this is an introduction anyways, assuming it is. So I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to come here. I'm going to paste my map. And I'm going to add draggable items. And so let's say after students take the virtual field trip, I am going to ask students about 3 or 4 different animals and where are they native to, which countries are they native to. So I'm going to add 4 pics of different colors, and then just for fun, I am going to ask students, I'm going to ask students about 3 different animals and 3 different animals and where they are native to. And then you'll see later what I'm going to use the up and down for. I've got 3 draggable items here that students can use to locate the different native countries of the 3 different animals that I will tell them verbally. Not everything has to be written. But if you do want to write it, then by all means, go ahead. Locate the native countries of the polar bear, blue whale, and white tiger. You can type it, students can read it. Or you can choose to facilitate the lesson orally. It all depends on you. I'm going to choose to facilitate the lesson orally because later when you play the role of students, you'll get to experience it and then you'll decide which one you think is better for your students. Inshallah. Okay, so we previewed the reading. The students read the reading. They took time to read the reading. And new slide. Before I continue, now that students did the preview and now that students did the reading, let's say now I want to give my students a stretching break. I am going to go to the template library. I am going to go during the lesson. I am going to choose the stretch break template. And there we go. I'm going to give my students not 5 minutes, just 1 minute, a 1 minute stretch break. Okay, but this is just a slide. What are students going to do? Stand up and stretch on their own? Maybe. Maybe I want to show my students a video about, a video of stretches that they can follow. So I can insert video. You can insert anything into your Pear Deck. It's just like a regular Google Slides document. Okay, you can insert images, you can insert audios, videos, tables, diagrams, anything you want. I am going to insert a video from YouTube, a video on 1 minute shoulder stretches that they can do in front of their laptops. Search for the video, there it is, 1 minute shoulder stretches, select. And there's my video. So this is our stretching break over here. It's been added. I want it before we start discussing the article. Let's say now the students need to go and they need to do vocab exercises or they need to do comprehension exercises, or I want them to do some grammar exercises, or I want to review what they read. For example, I want to integrate the past perfect lesson into my reading lesson. And I think past perfect because I want to show you something that can be done with Pear Deck and specifically with the draggable items. Really cool. One way you can use the draggable items. So for example, I can instruct my students I can give my students a sentence. When scientists discovered that polar bears are becoming extinct, 20% of glaciers in their habitat had already melted due to global warming. Scientists or let's say activists have been organizing awareness campaigns since then. What's wrong with this? Activists have been organizing awareness campaigns since then. So this is a statement that I want to work with grammar on, work with my students on with grammar. So I can ask students, for example, I can start by asking students, how many verbs are in this sentence? And I want a numerical answer. This is a numerical answer where students can tell me how many verbs are there in this sentence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Students can type their answers here. Update slide. And students can type a number and you'll see later how it appears. Another thing I can do with this sentence is the following. I want to use this sentence again, but I want to change the question. I can go right-click, duplicate slide. And what I want students to do now is to put the verbs in order on the timeline below. Put the verbs in order on the timeline below, and I am going to draw a timeline, a line with sufficient thickness, and I am going to specify the present. This is now. This is where I use draggable items here. I have 3 verbs in this, well, it's not a sentence, it's 2 sentences. I've got 3 related verbs in this sentence. Scientists discovering, and then, well, discovering and becoming extinct, and then the melting, and then the organizing. I've got 3 tenses. I've got 4 verbs, but 3 tenses. So I am going to choose the magnifying glass for discovering. I remember there was a bear. Anyways, let's just stick to the dog for now. Well, it's really the melting of the glaciers, so let's just stick to the dog for now. And then the human for so what I can do is I can tell students the magnifying glass is for the verb discovered. The dog is for the verb melted, had already melted, and the human is for the verb organizing. Put them in order according to the time, and they will have to analyze the grammar here and put them in order. So again, there's a lot that can be done. The one I can, for example, come here. We've got this question to put to read the essay again, read the essay and write the paragraph number next to the main ideas. I can copy this. I can go back to my slide, new slide, paste. The students need to write the numbers here. So instead of doing that, I can give them draggable items of the different numbers of different paragraphs, and then they can drag them and drop them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not all of them will be used, but then again, they don't have to use all of them. The one function I haven't introduced to you yet, I mean, there's a lot to do. I'm running out of time. I still have a lot I can show you, but unfortunately, I'm running out of time. The one function I still haven't showed you is the multiple choice function. So I can write different questions here. So for example, who or what is the author's purpose of this text? I go choice. And the multiple choice add-on is added here. And I can give my 2 or 3 or 4 choices, and students can choose from them. And I love the way the answers for this one are displayed. You will be able to see it in a minute when I run this class. Okay. The last thing I want to do, another thing you can do. So let's say I want my students to practice spelling different animals, then copy, and I can come here and I can add an actual exercise. This is one of my favorite grammar practice website, the English Hilfen. It's German, and I just love it. It's amazing. It's so amazing, and it has answers and everything. And I can add it here, and the students can be directed. The website itself can be imported into Pear Deck, and students can do the exercises and be done. Now, at the end, I want to, let's say, have a poll and ask students their opinion. I've already created a poll here, and I want students to tell me what they think the session was like. I think this session was, or maybe in this case, when you take it, you can tell us what you think this Pear Deck session was like. And I want students to type a word or two to give me their feedback. Then again, I can use website, I can add the poll here, and I can update the slides, and students can type in the Pear Deck, and later I will be able to get a word cloud over here of the different students' answers, what different students thought of my Pear Deck, and all the answers will be anonymous. So that I've finished creating my lesson, and it's time for me to teach this lesson. You do not present it from Google Slides. If I click here on present, none of the add-ons will appear. You need to leave the Google Slides, and you need to go back to the Pear Deck website. Your lesson needs to be presented from the Pear Deck website. You click here. Okay, I clicked on demo lesson, and there are two ways to teach Pear Deck. Sorry, there are two ways to teach a Pear Deck lesson. Yeah, there are two ways to administer a Pear Deck lesson. So after we start creating, there are two ways to administer a Pear Deck lesson. You either launch a self-paced lesson, where you click launch self-paced, you get you specify a deadline, you get a link, and you share it with students. Or you host a lesson live. And what we're gonna do now is you are gonna try it from the students' side. I'd like to ask you all, please, to go to follow this website, the joining website, so that you can join our lesson. I am going to start a live session. Now, what will appear to you, what will appear in front of you now on the screen is a code. You will need to enter this code into the joining text box that you are so Ms. Maria shared the link in the chat. Just follow the link. You will be taken to the joining website to join the Pear Deck lesson. Enter this code and you will be able to join the lesson. But to be able to join the lesson, you actually need a Gmail account. Okay, I've got 2 students. Anyone else would like to join? Please join the class. So for purposes of time, I'm gonna start the class, but even if you haven't joined, you can still join. You will be able to always see the code to the top right-hand corner. So please draw your favorite animal. After students draw their favorite animal, you go here. You see where it says show responses. You click on show responses and you can see all of students' responses in real time in front of you. These are students' responses. There are no names. It's 100% anonymous when you are displaying it in class. Next, how much do you know about endangered species? So type anything you know about endangered species. Anything you would like to share with the class about endangered species, please go ahead and type it. And then give students time to type. I'm not going to give you time now because we're running out of time. But I'll go show responses. And here are my students sharing their responses. There we go. This response has been deleted. And now the student is typing again. Okay, so you can see them typing or you can give students some time to type. I'm going to move on to slide number 3. Draw 2 types of things you already know about today's topic. And so you've already tried that, so I'm going to move on. But students can draw and then you can show their drawings. Now, drag and drop. What is the native home of the koala bear? Can you please drag the red pin to the native home of the koala bear? Now, can you please drag the orange pin to the native home of the white tiger? Now, can you please drag the yellow pen to the native home of the camel? Even though the camel is not endangered. Okay, my last question is, and this is a challenge question here, in which direction do European birds migrate in winter? Drag one of the two triangles, either the one pointing north or the one pointing south, to Europe, and show us in which direction do European birds migrate in winter. Ta-da! Okay, so, yes, thank you. The native home of the koala bear is Australia. The native home of the camel is Saudi Arabia. The native home of the white tiger is Bangladesh. And European birds migrate south during winter. Okay, so this is excellent for listening, by the way. It's excellent for listening because students have to respond to verbal prompts or prompts that they listen in the listening. Okay, so now we want to preview our article. Can you please drag the red magnifying glass to a word that means causes? Now, can you please drag the greenhouse to a word that means the natural home of animals? Now, can you please drag the blue boat to an example of a body of water in paragraph 2? An example of a body of water. Now, can you please drag the purple compass to the synonym of place? A word that is a synonym of place, usually a geographic place. And finally, can you drag the light bulb to a word or a phrase that shows you what the author's purpose is? And this is what it looks like after students finish. And you show it to students, this is what it looks like. So reasons is a word that means causes. Habitat is the word for the natural home of animals. Rivers is an example of a body of water. I was looking for area as a synonym for a place, but environment can work as well. So this is how it works. Let's take a stretching break. You can play, you can play the video. I should be able to play the video for the stretching break. Okay, but running out of time. How many verbs are in this sentence? And I can see here that there are no responses yet, so I know to wait. Now I can see that there's only one response, so I know I should wait until all of the students have responded after, and then I can show responses. So someone said that there are 2 verbs. Someone said that there are 7 verbs. Someone said that there are 4 verbs. These are the different answers I have received. Numerical answers are shown like this on a number line. Okay, I'm moving on to the next slide now. Now, put the verbs in order on the timeline below. Can you please put the 3 verbs discovered, melted, and discover, melt, and organize in order on the timeline below? Use the magnifying glass for discover, the dog for melting, and the purple human for organize. And put the verbs in the order of the time they happened. Okay. So the glaciers melted first. 20% of glaciers melted first. Then scientists discovered that polar bears are becoming extinct. And then people have been organizing awareness campaigns until now. So students can put them in order. So it's just an example. Number 9, slide 9. Again, dragging and dropping. You've already seen that. What's the author's purpose of this text? Now, assuming you read the author's purpose, can you just choose any answer? Assuming you read the article, but you haven't. So can you just choose any answer? Just so that I can show you how they appear. So this is how they appear. How many students chose A, how many students chose B, and how many students chose C? 11. Oh, this is, you're supposed to see the website and you're supposed to start working on it. I'm going to skip it. And finally, what do you think of this session? Can you please type a word so that I can receive it here in the word cloud? What do you think of this session? Meanwhile, this class is over. So what you need to do when the class is over is click end. I want to end the session. I name my session. This was a trial run session. I save and end the session. I want it saved in this account. Productive Learning Classroom. Yes. Allow Pear Deck to access, and it's been saved. I'm going to now return home, as into the home page. The last thing I want to show you is after you finish your lesson. Now, you have 15 students in class, but you realize that only 12 actually joined the lesson. And from the 12, most of the time, only 9 were answering. So most of the time, we were getting 9 out of 12 responses. Who was in the lesson? Who was not responding? And which different students gave which different responses? You want to see that. You were not able to see that during the lesson because the answers are anonymous. But you as a teacher can see that in your dashboard. So you go here and you go to, this is the trial run. This is our trial run. This is the lesson that we just ended. Because the lesson ended, I can now go to my teacher dashboard. I click on teacher dashboard view. And for every slide, I can
Excuse me,
see.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you repeat the steps, please? How can you share your lesson, via Pear Deck?
Mr. Mohammed, you will receive a recording on the website, and through your email as well, you will be able to see the session from the beginning, inshallah.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Please continue, Ms. Hind. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, no, it's okay. So over here, I can see that on this slide, on my first slide, 4 from 5 students responded. If I click on this, and I'm not going to click on this because, I want to respect your privacy, but if I click on this, I will be shown here a dialog box below, and I will be shown the different students and what their different answers were. So I will show you an example. I'm going to go to the multiple choice. The author's purpose, 4 out of 5 students. Oh, okay. It's not a dialog box anymore. Now it's a pop-up. Okay. So this student, these are the students who answered, and I should be able to see your answers. Usually I can see the answers. Usually. I don't know why now I can't. But usually it is possible to see the, here are the people. I don't know. Usually I can see the answers, but grid layout. Oh, there they are. There you are. You go to grid layout and you can see what different people answered. So Miss Selwa chose inform, Miss Fauzia chose inform, and Mr. Fnan chose entertain. So you can see the different students and their different answers using the grid layout over here. And this is how you can monitor your students' work after the lesson is over. And thank you for your responses to the poll. You see, you answered the poll. You answered the poll and you answered the poll in Pear Deck, but I was able to see the answers here in the website. This is the end of, thank you. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for being a great audience. And please go ahead and ask if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Hind. It was very interesting and we really enjoyed it. You can direct questions to Ms. Hind now. If you have any questions, we have last 3 minutes left.
Hind, just one question. How did you start the lesson from the Pear Deck? This is the same question that the gentleman was asking a minute ago.
Yeah.
Because I know I made that mistake before, and I was doing it the present from the slides. That's why.
From the slides. No,
Yeah.
you go. This is my Pear Deck homepage. I scroll down. These are my presentations. I click on the presentation here.
So it's app.peardeck.com home, right?
Well, now it's that, but usually you just go to Google, Pear Deck, go to Pear Deck for Google Slides, not Pear Deck Join. Well, it's not even there, Pear Deck Join. You go Pear Deck for Google Slides. You log in as a teacher, login. Log in as a teacher, you're taken to your home page. And from your home page, you click on the presentation you want to present and you start the live session.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome. It does not work. It does not work from Google Slides.
Right, it doesn't. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
And all students' responses. This was my other. All students responses get saved. This is not what I'm not experiencing this with Nearpod.
Yes, all students' responses get saved in their names. Students won't be able to see. They will be able to see each other's responses in class, but they won't be able to see who responded what. But you later, as a teacher, using the dashboard, and I'm going to show you the dashboard again. You later, as a teacher, using the dashboard, will be able to see your different students' different responses. Every single response for every single student. So you can actually use Pear Deck as an assessment tool if you choose to.
Yeah, also, I think that draw and Draggable
I have the different responses.
That is for the paid, that's for when you subscribe, right?
No.
For the premium. This is what I'm getting.
No, it's for all of them. It's not only for the premium. What's for the premium are
No, I'm getting it. So this is only for the basic. It allows you a few options, like the multiple choice and the others. But Draggable, draw, and
the Draggable and the draw are for the premium.
Premium, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Two of them are